Okay, I think we're good. Cool. All right. Hello, hello. It's Smooth Milo. I don't quite hear anything. Took a break yesterday for reasons. But anyway, I'm back. And I can't share the game. This is strange. Hang on. Okay. Hang on. I need to restart the game. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, now I can hear the game. We're getting there. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. One day I'll be competent at this. Okay, actually, kind of don't need to save. Right! Let's have this cutscene lead us off. And then we can talk. Palom Polum. Right over there.
That's it. Palom Polum.
That's where you live, right? We'll stop in when we get there.
No. We're the sea now, and no one's there but my dad.
Hope, you need to let him know what happened.
Yes, I would like to save my progress this time. Okay, so someone make a note of talking about them stopping in at Palom Polum. That someone will be me, it's fine.
Okay, time to hunt some lassie.
So what, we find him and that's that?
Don't get all hot and bothered.
Sarah, am I doing the right thing?
though, I believe this was the day just before the purge, but this should be the day that they found the fal'Cie. Jeez Louise.
Hold on!
Okay.
Jump!
Snow!
Sarah!
Uh-oh.
Sarah!
That's the vestige, by the way. That thing the fal'Cie is in. So that's how Sarah ended up inside there. And I'm guessing the army found out she was a l'Cie. That right there, that's the vestige.
Sarah. I went to the fal'Cie hoping to help her. But I was too late. Ow!
I knew you were hard-headed, but
That was...
oh,
Ow!
snap to it. We're rolling out.
Yeah. Hunting l'Cie, right?
This is our chance. Do not let the l'Cie escape. Move out.
Now, it kinda looks like Snow has swapped sides.
I will keep my promise, Lightning.
At least it looks that way. Excuse me. I would like to save my progress. Really like this song.
Fresh air. Nice.
So, where we headed?
Dunno.
You don't know? I thought you had somewhere in mind the way you took off.
I followed the smell.
What?
Smells nice. All naturey.
Just smells damp. And I think something bit me.
Hide!
Scott. Closest city that way is Palampolam. That is not good. I wonder if those two were caught in the net.
What do we do?
What do we do? Right now, what can we do?
Right. No choice. We run the other way.
Which would be to Nautilus.
The City of Dreams.
As we set off, it was like he'd forgotten. that I was still there.
Okay, so should we
wanna get
talk
to
about
Nautilus? Our road's through here. First things first, we need to clear these woods.
Hope and Lightning first, and then we'll talk about Sass and Vanille. Or maybe we'll talk about Snow and Sarah, then Sass and Vanille. So, with Lightning and Hope, it's a little interesting because initially Lightning said they wouldn't have any time to stop in, and Hope was okay with that. He was like, no one's at home waiting. No one's gonna be waiting at home for me anyway, right? Even though his father is still around, which again shows like a strained relationship between Hope and his father. And it seems he relied mostly on his mother for emotional support, I guess. So he was okay with not seeing his father. And Lightning was so fixated on her mission to take down the Sanctum, take down the government, that she didn't want anything like emotional stops. Ooh, this sounds useful. Maybe I should get it sooner. Anything like visits to home along the way. I think we're gonna need this though. I'm gonna need more element stuff. She didn't want any visits, Hope to visit. Oh, if not that she didn't want Hope to visit home, she was just like, we don't have time for that. But it seems she has since changed her mind, and she is like, okay, Hope, you should probably go and see your father. It's probably in your best interest, right? Which kind of shows how Lightning has changed a little bit in her viewpoint. Lightning used to be so fixated on, getting revenge. And we see her slowly changing this mindset because she's been dragging Hope along with her in this mission. And Hope, who is still, shall I say, not in the best mindset, he doesn't even really want to see his father. He even specified that now that mother is gone, there's no point in him going home. So it seems like he just really isn't attached or have much emotional connection with his father. Because you think he'd run in a situation like this. Hope's like, what, 14 years old? In a situation like this, you'd probably think the first thing you gotta do is like talk to your parents, because that's still an age where you rely on your parents for a lot, if not everything. And if shiz hits the fan, you kind of expect them to be able to hold up the sky. And yet Hope doesn't seem to have that expectation at all in his father. He's just like, his father's... Interestingly enough, I think Hope says something along the lines of he'll never believe all this Lassie stuff, which is a bit of an interesting thing to say, because Lightning didn't believe it. Lightning didn't really believe Sarah when she told her about her becoming a Lassie. So that was a little bit of an interesting dynamic there. Ooh, but yeah, so it seems Lightning's softening up a little bit. She has been softening up thanks to Hope. Keeping in mind she was planning to leave him behind at a certain point. And calling him a liability. And now, she wants Hope to talk with his dad and sort things out. I guess maybe you could say that she's just trying to drop him off at home and then move on by herself. Which would be cruel. And technically possible, but it doesn't really seem to be the case. What ability should I get next? I have limited Christogen points. I think Fyra is not going to work on the upcoming enemies. Okay, as for Snow, we saw a little cutscene of him thinking about Sarah. Let's get poison. We saw a little cutscene of him and Sarah running away from the Sanctum, and Sarah ending up in front of the vestige, and then this like liquid metal or whatever that was. Basically taking Sarah into the vestige. And it seems like the army had already found out that Sarah was a Lassie. Maybe that's why they were chasing her. It was interesting that it seemed that they weren't taking prisoners. The dude, one of those dudes had a fudging rocket launcher. So he was ready to blow them the fudge up. They weren't really interested in taking them alive. But it seems Snow managed to get away in some capacity, but Sarah got taken into the vestige, which led Snow to try and enter the vestige. We see him later, the next day, during the purge, going to the vestige to try and rescue Sarah. And he wanted to talk to the Fal'Cie. We saw how that played out. And yeah. And now with Saz... Oh yeah, and it also seems like Snow's been tasked with hunting down the sea. Again, we're not entirely sure who he's been taken in by. Because whoever it is, says they're not... It says that's the Sanctum's methods. Sid Raines, who seems to be leading them, says that's the Sanctum methods. Implying that he isn't one of the Sanctum. But they still seem to be hunting Lassie. So Snow seems to be helping them chase down Lassie. Does Vanille have any commando? So Snow and this character, Fang, I don't know if her name's actually been introduced yet, but her name is Fang. That's not really a huge spoiler. They seem to be tasked with hunting down Lassie. And it might be that the Sanctum's kind of, not the Sanctum, whoever it is holding Sarah hostage, and that's why Snow's complying. Or maybe there's something else going on. But right now the story seems to want us to believe that Snow seems to have changed sides. Why am I here? I'm here to check if she has the commander role, which she doesn't, so I can change this to strengthen my magic, and what do I put on her? I shall keep what she has. And as for you, I'm gonna stick with... He's gonna be mainly our commando, but it's a very small increase. So I'm gonna stick with this. And what do I have right now? Increase magic by 20. You know what? I'm gonna go with an HP boost. And what does this look like now? Yeah, let's swap to this. Oh wait. No, let's stick with this. So indecisive.
There's a sight I didn't want to see.
Now! Oh wait, I should go save. So now we're with Saz and Vanille, and Vanille is kind of asking, yo, where do we go? And Saz is like, what? You were leading the way. You don't have a direction in mind? And then they see the Sky Fleet heading to Palampolum, right? Why is the camera doing this? They saw the fleet, or the Sanctum, heading to Palampolum, and you kind of see this moment of Saz not knowing what really to do. Immune to physical damage. Okay, I should have messed with the paradigm. So, they don't really know where to go, and then they see the Sky Fleet flying overhead, Sanctum, I believe. And still, Saz again is kind of crippled with indecision, not sure what to do. And then Vanille finally sees this and goes, you know what, I've got an idea, let's just go the other way. It's not like we're looking for a fight. And in that moment, Saz is like, I guess that's gonna take us to Nautilus. Which is where we're heading now. So we're just running in the opposite direction of the enemy. Again, Saz and Vanille, we're just running for it. We're just legging it. So yeah, that's where it currently stands. And it seems like this is weighing more and more on Saz's mind. Because Vanille says in her narration that it's like he forgot she was even there. Vanille does seem to be an outdoorsy type girl.
All this dampness is damp.
Whereas Saz is not an outdoorsy type. Ooh, nice. Ah, I forgot his blitz looks like that. It's really cool. But yep, Vanille seems to have a thing for nature, which is why she ran in this direction. Apparently she has heightened senses too, because she smelled the forest.
I guess this is better than homicidal scorpion robots and mountains of trash.
True that. Wait, it seems it's supposed to go that way, so what's this way?
Place to make a nice picnic spot, minus all the uninvited guests.
Oh wait, is this... Nah. So Saz is just like, it seems to be becoming more and more, I guess, detached from this whole situation. I guess it's really sinking in that they don't really have a place to go, and so he's just mindlessly wandering and it's getting to him. I forgot to mess with the paradigms. Whereas Vanille seems to still be very optimistic, although we know she is a little scared, thanks to a moment not too long ago, where she seemed to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Hey, Stashophile? I got so focused on the game. I don't know if you're still there. I'm really bad at checking chat. Sorry. Oh well, we'll get there one day. Wait, if this is the way we were supposed to go, then which way is... Hey, the map deceived me. So as I was saying, Saz is becoming like more and more detached from the whole situation.
Follow my lead, Pops.
And I guess it's just that whole thing of where do we go, what do we do? But at least, oh, I was saying Vanille does seem to be scared in some capacity. Custom stuff, such as? Um, so like I said, Benil was kind of cozying up to Saz when they had to sleep during the night, and she seemed to be crying a little bit. So that might show that she is actually quite, the situation is weighing down on her as well. Okay.
Gotta be just a little quiet. For all we know, they could be so.
So we're heading to Nautilus, and I don't think anyone really knows, if no one seems to know, at least the general public doesn't seem to know about the scene, so we shouldn't get checked for that. And Lightning and Hope also shouldn't really run into that problem at Palom Polum. It is also worth noting that we're becoming less and less optimistic because earlier on we trusted, Lightning and Hope were trusting that Saz and Benil got out of the net, and Saz and Benil were also trusting that Lightning and Hope were heading to Palom Polum, but now we're starting to realize that by now they could have gotten caught. So the whole situation is like looking slightly less optimistic as time goes on. I don't know if you're still there, Sasha. What custom stuff were you talking about? What kind of custom stuff? What is also interesting to note is Cocoon seems to have these big foresty areas. This type of area, which I thought Cocoon was mostly like basically an urbanized, industrialized, more like a modern city anyway. But we do know they had a junkyard section, and that was basically from the Outer Rim during the war with Pulse that ended up forming when Pulse managed to breach the Elder Rim, and Cocoon Falsi had to step in and stop their invasion. And then just took a whole bunch of junk from Pulse to help rebuild the damaged parts of Cocoon, and then just left everything else out there. But Cocoon has these forest areas, and I don't really see anyone around here. It's mainly just monsters. I guess maybe this is also, I mean, Cocoon needs oxygen, obviously. So, maybe they do have a bunch of forests out there. Oh gosh. Nope, no, not this one. Okay, I was a little worried for a second there. So maybe Cocoon is filled with forests. I mean, like I said, they do need oxygen, and that just requires trees, and trees probably require an entire ecosystem like this. I don't know, I'm not a nature expert. But it is interesting. It might just be that the Fal'Cie thought this was the easiest way, although it is interesting that it's not like the Fal'Cie directly provide oxygen to everyone.
Change is good, Pops.
Like they do with a lot of other needs that humans have. Discord. I actually don't have Discord on this computer. It was on my old computer, but that has been having some issues, unfortunately. And believe it or not, I don't have an Instagram. A lot of people give me odd looks for that. But what kind of content do you make on there? Or what is it about?
Yes!
I do need to get Discord on this computer though. I keep putting that off. I just haven't needed to use it in quite some time.
Great. Here's the bumper crop.
Although, I think in this world, they do or are open to the idea of eating monsters. So it's not like monsters and livestock are completely different entities. So they might be sort of treated as similar things. I wonder if anyone ever comes to these areas to hunt. Although, again, we saw earlier, or Saz said earlier, that we rely on the Fal'Cie for food, clothing, shelter, all that stuff. Well, maybe not clothing, but food and shelter, pretty much all their basic needs and they have been relying on them for the longest time. So, if these monsters can be harvested for food, I'll have to do that whole Discord thing later, Sasha. Although, do tell me what is the custom stuff that you make? I'd be interested to hear about it. Actually, we'll see a whole bunch of how much Fal'Cie provides a little bit later on. Well, I think it's after this section, actually.
I'm tougher than you thought, huh?
Did I miss? Oh wait, let's go back real quick. I want to see something. I probably didn't, seeing as how there's an open chest here, but let me just check. Ah. This way.
No daydreaming now.
Uh-oh. That's a lot of fire spells incoming. Okay, they didn't do that much damage, we're fine. That blitz is really cool. I like the way they designed this as a blitz spell. Blitz move, not spell. I need to remember to mess with the paradigms. Okay, the paradigms. After this, and then the paradigms. Oh, it's another one of the... Okay. Nope. Paradigms. Okay, so Ravager Commando, Medic Commando. I like this. This is also useful. I'm gonna add in another Medic one and have this be... Synergist? Should it be Synergist or Ravager? I think Synergist and Ravager. And finally, we can have a... Sass doesn't have the medic roll. What should this last slot be for? Let's go Saboteur Commando. Yeah. So the debuff and keep the chain gauge up. So yeah. And then the rest we'll keep. That's fine.
Should be a dock on the other side of these trees.
Ooh, nice view.
Hey, Sass. Tell me about yourself.
Huh?
Any family?
I have a little boy.
Oh, so you're married.
I was, yeah.
We gotta get you home. Your son needs you. Come on, we'll make it.
It's too late.
Is it the Lassie thing?
How'd you...
You might be a Lassie, but you're still a daddy.
You're right.
So, what's his name?
Looks like a painting. Back to this night. This is 2 days before the purge. Well, the night 2 days before the purge.
Dodge.
Hey, Dad.
Making a wish, huh? What'd you wish for?
Well, you're never happy. You never smile. So here's what I wished. I wish that you'd cheer up and be like your old self again.
Ah, cute kid.
How about that?
Whoa.
Your wish came true.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, it's my turn to wish.
What for, Dad?
That's my little secret. Yeah.
Come on, Pops. You've really got to keep it together, okay? Now, let's go.
Now I got kids looking out for me. Some dad I am.
The powerful scale beast awaits you ahead, so powerful that they felt the need to warn us. It could be a difficult fight for only 2 people, however this enemy is slow on its feet, meaning you can easily avoid the encounter if you so desire. You'll face many harrowing challenges as you press on. When you feel your enemies may be too strong, avoid them.
Would you look at that view?
Yeah, that view. Pretty cool, right?
I know someone who'd love to be seeing all of this.
Okay, so we finally know a bit more about Saz, and that he's a father. He was also in Bodum when the purge went down, which, well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. But he was there with his son. Hang on, let's just keep the chain going. Okay. Yeah. This thing is a beefy one. This is very much a tank of a beast. And I think Stas didn't get his attack in before the meal, so this stagger gate is falling very, very quickly. Oh boy. And now it's gonna take like no damage. So let's swap to this.
Follow my lead, Pops. Bubble Man.
Oh, I don't have one. Is it immune to poison? I think I just tried to poison it. And
Follow my lead, Pops.
okay, let's try and boost ourselves a bit more. Hang on a sec. I don't see the poison status ailment proccing. Oh, I remember now. Yeah, I was supposed to poison it, I think, while its shell was down. I think. Okay. Stas didn't give himself brave. I need to go back and fix that. Oh, I need to heal. We were really close to dying there. Okay, now we can go back.
Good, Pops.
Okay. So Saz is the father of a cute little boy named Daj. You might have remembered, if you were paying close attention, you might have remembered him mentioning that name before. Well, he kind of whispered it to himself. Not sure if you remember exactly where though he mentioned it, which might be important. Okay, I'll tell you. He mentioned it, the name Daj, when they were about to fight the Fal'Cie. So, if you remember that little detail, which I'd be impressed if you do, unless you specifically have played this game before and that's why I remember it. That might be a reason why. Daj might be involved in why Saz was willing to fight the Fal'Cie in the first place. As for why that might be the case, because well, you're gonna have to wait. You might already know, or you might have to wait to figure it out until we get a bit more information. Yeah, if you recall, Snow did ask why the heck did Saz help them, even if it seemed like a very unwise idea to do so. So maybe his son was involved somehow. Anyway, speaking of his son, Saz isn't currently with his son, and the kid did look very, very young. So you gotta wonder where that kid is now and how Saz is gonna get back to him. Because Saz hasn't mentioned getting back to him. Which seems pretty gosh darn important if you ask me. And that begs the question, why? I would think that any parent would be in a rush to get back to their, I'm bad at judging ages, but like 7-year-old kid? Something like that? I don't know. Dodge seemed quite young. Okay, the trick to this creature is you gotta debuff it while it's staggered. Okay, and deprotect real quick. Okay, cool.
Thanks, Dad. Okay then.
Okay, I want Stas to... Is this the only one with an interest in it? I need Stas to buff himself a little bit. Okay, now we're good. So yeah, poison is pretty helpful against this guy if I'm not mistaken, if I recall correctly. Oh my gosh.
Counting on you, old man.
I appreciate it.
Keep up, old man. Keep it together, Pop.
That is way more HP than me. than Vanille. Like 200 more. So I think that might one-shot Vanille if it goes to her. So we might have to really focus on keeping that that HP up on Vanille. Okay. So this, yeah, once you know the trick to this guy, he really isn't that dangerous. You're almost done for. And buffs and debuffs help quite a bit. It's also interesting to note that everyone was watching those fireworks that night. We saw Vanille was watching the fireworks, we saw Snow and Sarah were riding through the fireworks, we saw Lightning was watching the fireworks, and Hope was watching the fireworks with his mom. And I think they all talked, well, Vanille didn't talk in her thing, she was alone. They all sort of talked about this idea of fireworks being able to grant wishes. See if we can max out. We got a bit of HP here. Not a lot of HP. Okay, let's go to Saboteur. It gets us more access to more magics anyway. Saz doesn't need more HP. More hit stomping power would be nice though. I don't need to get any more spells, do I? Wait, what's this? It's an accessory slot. This is a lot of HP for Saz. I'm just gonna go down that route. fine. Okay, we're almost done with maxing out their Crystarium again. And that's actually a nice system of this game, is that the experience you earn, like for example the experience or CP points that you earn as Snow, as Lightning and Hope, carries over partially to the other characters. It'll, like half of it I think gets carried over. Oh man, it detected us. I needed to not detect us. But now it's looking right at us, so let's see if we can go around. So if you do stick to doing battles, you'll find yourself maxed out pretty quickly. A lot of the time. No, that's some bullshit! Ah. There is no way he turned around right at that moment just in time to see me. Immune to earth and ice. Right in here. Yeah, that one shots.
Is it really over?
Alright, let's try that again. No, that should not be facing this way. Actually, I bet nope, it's looking this way. Okay, one of the things you might need against those guys is the preemptive strike, just so you can get those debuffs off early. Okay, it shouldn't have detected us. There we go. Zaz, please hit it. Zaz, please hit it. Nice. That just helped. I think if Vanille hits it on her own. Yeah, the stagger gauge is falling. Okay. Okay, I want Saz to buff himself a bit. I need a roll where Vanille can heal itself while Saz buffs himself. It's like the third time I've needed another Saz buffing roll. I'll mess with that afterwards. Okay, I think we're good now. There was also a woman. Saz says he was married. So, I guess either he's divorced or he's a widower. But there was a woman that appeared at the very end of the cutscene. And she looked... And she looked very dressed officially. But she did look friendly, so we'll find out who she is later. And if you were paying very close attention, which I'd be surprised, you might have noticed. You know what? I'm gonna keep that to myself. Although earlier I mentioned that Staz hasn't really said anything about getting back to his kid. Excuse me. Which you'd think would be an important priority. I mean, even if he is a lessee, someone's got to look after the child, right? And I don't know if there is a mother in Dodge's life. It might be that woman we saw might have a role like that, but that's not guaranteed to us. And maybe he's just thinking it would be best if he kept his distance from his son, considering he's now a pulse lessee. It's gonna turn around. I'm banking on it turning around. There we go. Yeah. Daz, need you to hit. There we go.
Follow my lead, Pops.
No, not that one. I forgot to mess with the paradigms again. Okay.
Thanks, Dad.
Okay. Now I'm just waiting for Saz to grant the requisite buffs to himself, and... Okay. Let's just heal Saz up a bit more. I mean, not heal Saz up, buff Saz up a bit more. Okay, let's go slash and burn real quick. I want to try something here. I wonder if comboing magic a lot and then swapping to a commander role to stabilize the stagger gauge. And then we'll swap back into magic. There we go. I'm not sure if that strategy was actually that effective or what. More tests are needed.
Keep it together, Pops.
Ouch. Yeah, as long as you get a preemptive strike on these guys, they really shouldn't be too much of a threat. The main thing you gotta worry about is that shocking breath that can borderline one-shot you. We did buff Staz's HP, I think, didn't we? Just like a moment ago. Nice.
Well, that wasn't scary at all.
5 stars! Nice. We get some Crystarium points. Deeper scope. Look at that view. Just take a moment.
Be taken in the scenery, but even a fugitive's gotta catch them.
Agreed. In the sky. Alright, let's keep going. Oh, wait. Ah, fudge it. We might not even need that anymore. So I mentioned earlier that Saz didn't really mention that he needs to get back to his son. We also haven't heard anything about what Vanille wants to get back to. Like, who is she trying to get back to? Is there a home that she needs to get? Does she have a home she needs to return to?
I appreciate it.
We haven't heard much about Vanille in general, actually. But maybe that problem would solve itself very soon. Oh, not problem, but more like maybe those questions will answer themselves soon.
And done. Bye-bye.
That's us. Dun 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 dun. Nice.
Bye-bye.
Might need a medic, actually. Stars can keep blitzing them down. Yeah. Ouch. Although we do know a bit about Vanille's personality, we just don't know much about her history. I mean, I think we already know Lightning's story, like, pretty much in its entirety. Or as much as we need to know for how she ended up here. Which is just, she was once a soldier and she joined the Purge to save her
Well, that wasn't
sister.
scary at all.
Hope was just in Bodum at the time, visiting with his mother, and then the Purge went down. Vanille, we still don't know if she was a resident of Bodum or visiting. There's a camera? Oh, because of the view? The devs patting their own back for the gorgeous view. They deserve it. The criticism of like Final Fantasy 13 is like a long corridor. You gotta admit, it's a very beautiful corridor.
You look tired. Not enough sleep?
I guess.
Not surprising. Cute girl like me. It's hard to close your eyes, huh?
I'm just gonna lie down for a bit.
Being made a l'Cie, it's not easy. I mean, look. Even I'm kind of worried.
You know, compared to
Even if we don't know what'll happen, we have to keep our dreams alive. Have something to look forward to. You know?
Next stop is Nautilus, City of Dreams.
Yep.
how that bird just has a nest in his hair. Compared to her face, her fingers are very low detail.
What? Sass?
Okay, I know where Saz is. I know we're supposed to go. where we're supposed to go. And I think I answered this question already before, but I have been curious. What happens if you just try to leave without him?
You don't want to leave Saz behind?
Okay. Oh, there you go. I wonder.
We gotta find Saz.
I just want to kind of ignore. I kind of want to exhaust this dialogue.
We gotta find Saz.
Okay, it's probably going to be looping from here.
Saz.
You scared me.
What's up?
I'm just thinking.
Don't blame yourself. You know, you can't control who FLC picks for a focus.
My son Dodge. He was picked. He's a lessee. He said he wanted to see a foul sea, so I took him to go on a tour of the Uriday Gorge plant. Thought I'd surprise him with a chocobo chick to take home, but the second I turned my back, into the energy plant he went.
Oh, that's someone familiar looking. Two people, actually.
Dodge! I know you're in here! Dodge! Where are you? Say something! Dodge! Hey, what's wrong? Dodge!
Daddy.
It's all right. You okay? You're not hurt, are you? What's that? Apparently, those post-Lassie had snuck in and tried to attack the Sanctum Fal'Cie. It did the only thing it could and made Dodge a Lassie to protect it. My son, he got picked by a Sanctum Fal'Cie. He's a hero. But we're post-Lassie. Dodge's enemies. Psycom showed up right after that to take custody of him. Then, it was one test after another. Even then they couldn't figure out his focus. Maybe it was look for post-Lassie, maybe it was kill him. Either way, how could a kid that young even stand a chance? After he was made a Lassie, Dodge had some way of sensing things from Pulse. He was the one who found the Pulse Fal'Cie. But the kid can't fight. So, that's why I put myself on the train to Purgeville. I figured his focus had to have something to do with destroying that Pulse Fal'Cie. Thought I could do it for him, and, well, you know the rest. If I was right about his focus, he's probably a crystal already. Of course, if he was supposed to take out that thing's Lassie, then either we die, or he's a Seath.
Die? Really?
It's a pickle, all right. But the bird says no.
And the bird is the word. Alright, so that was a pretty significant lore reveal. So, this opens up a few questions, but to recap, Saz and his son Daj went to Uriday Gorge Plant. I don't know if you recall, but previously, when Lightning was talking to her officer, her lieutenant, she mentioned a Uriday incident or accident.
What is that? A device that makes bad weather. Come out to play in the rain, did you? Isn't that adorable?
Okay, so Lightning mentioned that there was a Uriday incident, an incident at the... Hang on a sec. These spheres modulate precipitation levels in the surrounding area. They can manipulate the weather. Certain indigenous fauna exhibit rain-shy behavior, taking cover during storms. However, inducing showers can result in encounters with otherwise elusive hydrophilic wildlife. Okay, I'm gonna switch it to daytime. I think I'd rather deal with the other things. They can just straight up manipulate the weather. Way out here. Who? Oh, that's why. Okay, we want rainy weather. I'm not sure about fighting that thing, and I don't think I even need the CP for it. Who even comes out here and needs the weather changed? It might just be a safety thing, but I'm surprised the monsters haven't destroyed it or anything. Okay, we can take the easy path out, which just means using the rain to chase away that giant monster. Oh, we can fight it. We're gonna take the easy path out. There's no need to fight that thing. So, Lightning mentioned an incident at the Uriday Gorge plant. This must be that incident. Where Daj and Saz were visiting the plant, and then while Daj was distracted by whatever, Saz snuck off to quickly grab a chocobo chick, the one that's hiding in his hair constantly, and then give it to Daj as a surprise. However, at that moment, Daj just went running off on his own into the plant. Daj kind of went running off on his own into the plant, and Saz had to go look for him. Now, the plant is basically centered around a cocoon fal'Cie. This fal'Cie provides energy. Like I said, the fal'Cie are like pretty much deities compared to humans. And they provide a lot of their needs. And so this fal'Cie, which was managing energy production for Cocoon, detected Pulse Lissi. Pulse Lissi obviously being from the opposite side. I guess the fal'Cie, the Cocoon fal'Cie, sensed a threat. And so it turned the nearest Cocoon civilian into a Lissi to protect it. So it would have been a Cocoon Lissi versus a Pulse Lissi. But of course Daj is like a very young child, so there's no way he could have stood a chance against that shit. And what's also interesting is we saw at that moment that it seemed to be Vanille and Fang in the area. Now we supposedly saw how Vanille became a Lissi, but we saw that Fang seemed to have a messed up Lissi brand. So we're not even 100% sure what kind of Lissi she is. But they seem to have fled just before anyone showed up. Let's go with the Mud Frog. But just before anyone showed up, and notice that it was actually the Guardian Corps. If you paid attention to the uniform that they were wearing, it was actually Guardian Corps members who showed up to Saz and Daj right after Vanille and Fang seemingly left. It wasn't actually Psychom. Psychom showed up after that. Now, Daj is made a Lassim, which, like I said, you must be considered a hero, considering if you made a LC for the planet that you're fighting for. But again, it's like a death sentence pretty much. Either you complete a focus to turn into a crystal, or you fail the focus and turn into a mindless beast, right?
You notice anything different about the local wildlife when the sun's out?
So, they didn't quite know what Dodge's focus was. And so that woman must have showed up, and it turns out she's from XIII. We now know. No, wait. We now know that woman was from XIII. And they tried to conduct tests to try and figure out what the heck is going on with Dodge's focus. Dodge, after becoming a Lassie, managed to be able to sense things from Pulse, and it turns out he's the one who actually found the Pulse Fal'Cie in the vestige. So that must have been on day 12, when they discovered Dodge's ability to sense stuff from Pulse, and that's when they found the vestige on day 12, the day before the Purge, and then the Purge happened right afterwards. And now that's why Saz was there in the first place. Saz figured that if Dodge could sense things from Pulse, maybe he's also supposed to take out things from Pulse, meaning the Pulse Fal'Cie. Which, by the way, we got confirmation that the Fal'Cie did die. So that whole thing of turning everything into a crystal, that's just what it does just before it dies. Yep. So Saz is now thinking if Dodge's focus was to kill a Pulse Fal'Cie or kill the Pulse Fal'Cie he was sensing, then Dodge should be a crystal by now. But it is possible that Dodge's focus was actually to kill the Pulse Lassie, which would mean himself, Lightning, Hope, Snow, and Vanille. So that would mean Saz would have to turn on everyone and kill them all in order to save Dodge, and including offing himself, which is kind of hectic. So at this point, you just gotta hope that Dodge's focus was just taking out was taking out the Pulse Fal'Cie, and that is Crystal. Otherwise, the kid there's a very real threat of the poor boy turning into a mindless beast for the rest of his life, which is kind of sad. I'm not sure which. Some people might see the fates as interchangeable. I guess that depends on your viewpoint. Yeah, that's kind of where... I can't even reach that. It's kind of where Saz is, and that's probably why he's been so out of sorts at the moment. He's like... Dang it, I can't reach anything. I should have gone for this. He's probably thinking, I really hope our focus was to take down that Pulse Fal'Cie, which sounds like a bit of an unreasonable focus. To take down a Fal'Cie, if you ask me, considering how much power they wield. But then again, the Fal'Cie seem threatened by 2 Lassies, so maybe it's not that unusual. Calls allies. I'm gonna go dual casting real quick. I'm might have let something slip. Anyway, I made a little slight spoiler slip back there. So Saz has got to try and find a way to see the situation with Dodge, and then figure out where to go from there. And even if the situation is that, oh gosh, dang it! Stop that. We know that he's in Psychom's custody, and thanks to the fact that he's a cocoon, let's see, he should be seen as a hero by the entire planet. Even though he's just such a young kid. Someone meant to combat threats from the horrendous world, horrible world below. Now, it was also interesting to note that they are Cocoon Lassie as well. It's not just Pulse Lassie. Cocoon also has this practice of taking people, giving them a focus, not being clear on what the focus is, and then requiring you to complete it lest you risk being turned into a mindless monster.
I appreciate it.
Yes. Okay. We should be good now. Do we not have access to its weak elements? No, we do. Yeah, those are its weak elements. I just see Vanille swapping elements a lot. I was wondering if we don't have access to that stuff. Hang on. Okay, we're done with Commando, and then this is just roll levels, so whatever. Alright, which way do we go? Right or left? Now I always say, right is always right. But I want to go left. So, we actually find out that Saz is actually in a heavy predicament. At this point, he's gotta just hope and pray that the focus for Dodge was just taking out the... Pulse Falsi. Excuse me. And that the focus is already complete, so that at least Dodge doesn't turn into a mindless monster. Otherwise, if that wasn't the focus, then he needs to decide if he's willing to kill everyone. What do you turn into? I can take you guys. Yep, good going. And I'm pretty sure there's... Although that... I wonder what that means for Vanille as well. If Saz... does decide he needs to take out... this thing's... the Pulse Lysine. It's also interesting to note it's that's Dodge's ability that kicked off the Purge. They would have never known about the Pulse Fal'Cie had it not been for... had it not been for Dodge's ability.
I appreciate it.
Now we gotta talk about why it seemed like Vanille. I guess we don't have to, but it was interesting to note that Vanille and Fang were at the Yuriday Gorge. What the heck they were doing there? It's just something worth mentioning. Do we want to fight that big guy? Maybe we do one fight against the big guy, huh? Yeah? Yeah. Let's just test it out and see what it's capable of, right? Love that blitz. Although it is interesting that the Fal'Cie just made dodge a Lassie, but only gave him the ability to sense things from Pulse. I mean, surely he wasn't expecting a kid that young to actually fight, right? Interesting. I mean, maybe it gave him more combat-orientated abilities, but you don't know that. This looks like a scary fight. Let's just go in and give it a shot, right? Okay. Let's see what this wyvern is capable of. Susceptible to poison. Good to know. Okay, let's quickly take down its little minions down here. Ouch. Let's heal a little. This is gonna be dangerous. Oh, it's an AoE heal. That's convenient. That thing does a lot of damage though. We might be in a bit of trouble.
I appreciate it.
Oh, I think that would have killed us. Ouch! Oh my gosh.
I appreciate it.
Okay, that thing keeps spamming that. Hang on a second.
I appreciate it.
I need Saz to go after the other guy. No, not that. We're almost there with that one. The good thing there isn't like a mana gauge thing, because we are spamming magic. That was an interesting choice. Magic and physical attacks are treated exactly the same in this game. Well, in terms of resources required to utilize them. Not like you have a separate mana gauge. Okay, let's do this. Um... Okay. Ah, there we go, we got poison off. I think it's easier to get debuffs off when they are staggered. Okay, we got the main debuffs we wanted to. So let's heal up real quick and then we'll go back to... Then we'll go back to this and try and stagger it. I'm gonna use a potion here actually. Yeah, we can keep up the pressure. So we're gonna heal. There we go. So let's try and get debuffs off now and test my theory. Nope, that didn't work. Forget it, let's just... Actually, no, it's not immune to deprotect. That's also, the whole Saz and dodge thing, or the fact that dodge exists, would explain why Saz said any father knows when, or any father cares, when Hope thought that his father wouldn't care about this whole in the sea situation. There's of course Saz himself being a father. Okay, we killed it. 3 stars. Less than ideal. Oh well, whatever. Oh, I managed to confuse myself we're going this way. What appears if I press this? Okay, we took one of them down. They're a bit of a time sink, so let's try to avoid them. Nope. I don't like those guys that can summon other guys. Do those trees have squares around them? How'd you get the stagger on both of them? Also, we didn't even point this out. But something that was obviously shown with the Uriday Gorge is that Fang and Benil already know each other. They do seem to have accents to them. More of these guys? Wait. I was hoping to use. Has the game even told us Fang's names yet? It's not like it's a huge spoiler or anything. But I'm not 100% sure if it let us know her name yet. Okay. Oh wait, I thought these guys were immune to physical damage. Ruin doesn't count as... Oh, okay. Well, it kind of does. But Ruin counts as some form of magic damage that just deals physical damage, so I'm not quite sure how that works. But Ruin is able to hurt these guys, whereas some regular physical attacks aren't. Little interesting thing to note. Please use Blitz as it would be so cool. Yeah. Do it again. Ah. Yay.
Smells fishy, and I'm gonna find it.
Something smells fishy and I'm gonna find it. Okay, hang on. This should be enough to max everything out. There should be enough crystarium points to max everything out. Commando's maxed out. Yep. Ravager's maxed out. Alright. Fully maxed out. Okay, I think I know what fight is coming up next. And I've always believed there's a certain thing about this fight.
That's not good.
What do we do?
All right, I got it. We sneak.
Right.
Just too much to ask to cut me one break, isn't it?
Come and get it!
I don't think this scans all enemies. So this dude is immune to water and weak to lightning, and we need to... Hang on. No. This one's immune to lightning and weak to water. So, interesting that they're susceptible to each other's elements. So this one is susceptible to water, and this one is susceptible to lightning. And this one definitely seems water-based. Okay, this one doesn't look very lightning-based, but he is. Okay. Okay, let's get Asuna. So there's a thing about this fight that I'm so certain, I don't know if I can get it to happen, but I'm so certain it's happened before. And that is that you can actually get these you can actually get these two to hit each other. I'm not quite sure how. But they both do this huge attack, and the other one can get caught up in it. And it can accidentally kill its ally. I'm not quite sure how to... Let's see if it happens. I can't... Not sure how to make it happen intentionally. The soundtrack's pretty cool. Okay. Oh no, oh no, that's not good, that's not good at all. Oh no. Okay, can I remove buffs? Do I have that ability yet? I'm targeting the wrong one. The stagger gauge is gone by now. Okay, this attack. Okay, you saw that, right? You saw how that attack basically harmed its ally. I didn't just imagine that, right? Okay, they're right next to each other. Yeah, look, he did like 100k to his friend. I think he might get them. It might be possible to get these two to just kill each other. The problem is if they focus different targets, they don't catch each other in the attack as significantly. See, like now they're swapping targets. This one's focused on Vanille. And you can't really direct where your character goes. Yeah, they're down to 11k HP now. Keep in mind, it's only been Saz who's been attacking so far. And this dude is down to like 150 HP. He does barely... Seriously, these guys are a hazard to each other. Like his friend is gone. Like, it would make more sense if this attack healed themselves as well, while damaging their friend, so at least they could keep themselves alive while doing this. But that may make for way too frustrating of a fight if they just spammed that attack and kept healing themselves. But at this rate, these guys just kill themselves. This fight, as long as you heal, this fight takes care of itself. The vast majority of the damage done was by themselves, or was the enemies to each other, basically. I barely did any damage. I think a good 70% of the damage was done by them. 5 stars.
Skip and a jump, and we're in Nautilus.
The city of dreams.
If only we were dreaming up those clouds.
But we can't change the weather anymore?
Just gonna run and take a look ahead.
But yeah, that fight amuses me. Because I remember discovering that for the first time. I think when I discovered that they can hurt each other, one of them was staggered. And so they used that attack and just killed its friend, and I was so confused for a second. I was like, what the fudge? Where did he go? And then it finally sunk in. Oh, wait, they're weak to each other's attacks. And And it's like, oh my gosh, they can hurt each other. That's a little cool thing. Although, interestingly, when I see other people play that game, I don't know if they actually notice that. That their attacks harm each other. Those enemies' attacks harm each other. Convenient hole in the fence is convenient.
We can board the ship over there. Huh?
Oh.
When it rains around here, it pours. And then it rains some more.
Really coming down.
Saz, do you hate Pulse?
Why wouldn't I? Look at this mess it's gotten us all into. Of course, it's not to say I always hated it. Seemed fishy. All that sanctum ranting about the threat from Pulse. Only a matter of time before they strike. Pulse is infested with monsters. Scare after scare. Not even a shred of proof. Tired old cynics like me? We don't just swallow that tabloid crap. No, not me. I figured the Sanctum was up to something crooked. At least until I got dragged in.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, all this purge business, it really only happened because Dodge found that Pulse Fal'Cie.
You're wrong.
Huh?
Don't blame him. It was all...
Yeah, you're right. It was that scum from Pulse behind it.
I might as well have tried to stop the rain. I fought the tears, but they still fell.
You're getting soaked.
I'll be fine. It's only water.
Oh, this thing travels across water. Make a note of that conversation. Yes, I would like to save my progress.
Attention all units. This is Director Roche, SciComm Division. Cocoon is caught in the grip of a pulse-born terror. If we allow the sea activity to continue, panic will rip our world apart. The peace and stability we have fought so hard to maintain will be nothing but a memory. Pulse the sea threaten our very way of life. They must be eliminated. There can be no hesitation. That is all.
If we fail, our citizens will pay the price.
They gave that guy a name, so you probably want to remember him.
Task Force reporting. Begin operations immediately. Sir!
We can make it. Get to the station and board the train for Eden.
You think it's still running?
Well, if it isn't, we'll make it run.
then punch straight into the heart of the Sanctum? Now you're thinking like a Pulse L'Cie.
Well, this is Operation Nora. It's not just Snow I'm after. The Sanctum's gotta pay too. Hey, you're the one who said we had to fight. Every minute we waste, we're tempting fate. There's some underground tunnels not far from here. I used to play in them when I was a kid. No one uses the entrance anymore, so even the army doesn't know about it. But I know where it is. We can sneak in under their noses.
Sounds good.
Great. Here we go.
Huh. No more rivalries now. Psychom's brought in the Guardian Corps.
Okay. There's an old drainage pipe. We can use it to avoid being seen. The tunnel entrance is a little further up.
Instrument of Rebellion made plans to infiltrate enemy occupied territory. I think he can sneak past these guys without having to fight. Okay. So, things to mention. Oh, 5k CP. You can now develop characters further. Ooh, as soon as it's probably useful. Okay. So, Vanille was crying. And Saz was saying some stuff about how he thinks about the fact that, like I said earlier, that Dodge's ability to locate stuff from Pulse kicked off the purge. Ooh, it sounds useful. I need a commando though. He doesn't have commando. Ooh. And so Vanille is saying, no, you can't blame Dodge for that. And then she seems to say, wants to put the blame on someone else. And Saz says it was that scum from Pulse. After which Vanille starts crying. And Vanille also asks Saz if he hates Pulse. And Saz says, why wouldn't he? This whole mess kind of started because of them. Or this whole mess started because of it. But it's interesting to note that Saz didn't really believe that Pulse was that dangerous. Up until he got dragged into this whole thing because Dodge got turned into a L'Cie. So, the Sanctum telling its population, you gotta fear Pulse, they're gonna attack any moment, Pulse is hell on earth, and all that. And Saz was like, yeah, you guys haven't provided any evidence for those claims, so I don't think I buy it. I think you're just using these funds for something else, like corrupt governments might do, and then telling us that it's for the safety of everyone. And then, you know, he got dragged into it and it's like, okay, maybe now I believe you guys. Ooh. But if you haven't put together the thing about Vanille yet, don't worry, it'll become glaringly obvious, if it hasn't already. But if you have, you might have some questions, because something doesn't add up. And there's one more final puzzle piece around Vanille. That'll explain everything. What do I want? What stats do I want? Because I think we've gotten all the abilities. I think there was some magic spells still. I never used Quake. Let's go with Ravager. And now we're back to Hope and Lightning. Ooh, I really like this duo because you can see Lightning is becoming more and more hesitant about this whole thing. Whereas Hope is becoming more determined to see his revenge through. And Lightning's realizing maybe this whole revenge plan isn't a great idea. And I think it's also because she cares for Hope now and... Ooh, Kira. Let's go for Kira. If he doesn't want to see Hope do something very reckless and dangerous for himself. Even if that reckless and dangerous thing was initially her plan. Yeah, we need this. Okay. Any more abilities? I think there's like bar stuff here, which could be useful, honestly. Wait, are there spells? Bandara. Maybe I should go for spells. Yeah, we should go for spells. Let's go for spells. Alright. Water. Yeah, I get what I mean. Okay, let's get some HP here. Okay, never mind. We're out of CP.
Guess we're fighting.
What? Why do you guess we're fighting?
The way into the tunnels is over there.
We can probably sneak up on these guys and beat them up. Excuse me. Oh man, motherfucker stepped back. Oh wait! This may have been completely unnecessary. I just like to play it safe and get rid of people. But I think there is a way to like just sneak past everyone. It would be interesting if this part of the... I might get punished for this though. Hang on a sec. I think this is supposed to be a moment where you can just sort of choose to sneak through everything. I'm just going to look around for treasure spheres. I think there's a path. Hope probably shows you the path. On how to sneak past all the fights here. Yeah. They don't see Hope. Thankfully he's invisible to them. Okay, and...
Quick, this way.
Uh-oh, they saw us. Bunch of civilians in a military zone, and no one bats an eye. Well, they were pretty hostile for a second, but no one alerted their authorities. It's like Skyrim, and they were like, must have been the wind.
I can do this.
Okay, let's just... This is one guy on his own. Yeah, hang on. There is... Yeah, like there's these pipes to sneak through. And then there's this bike whizzing around. Can probably hear it. I don't think there's any treasure spheres. There it is. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it spotted us. And we made it. A bit surprised. I didn't see any treasure spheres. Hope was very confident that the military wouldn't find this place. Back this way? Yeah.
I think we made it past all the guards.
Yeah. Agriculture complex. Chapter 7 already. It did seem like we were zooming past chapters in the beginning.
Don't worry, it'll be fine. Only kids like me know about that entrance.
They'll find it. They'll call in a team and canvass the whole tunnel system.
Then we better hurry.
So, where's this thing come out anyway?
Well, I don't really know for sure.
We'll find out today.
Automated nutriculture. I think I remember learning about this in school.
Okay, I think these guys stick through all 3 games. So these guys heal each other. I don't think we need to use a Libra on them. It's a surprise that the army hasn't found this place before, or hasn't checked this place out before. Also, it is worth noting, the army is out here looking for pulse threats. Again, why? Because it says the public is gripped in pulse phobia. Ooh, this guy. Hang on, is there a way to get to that? Ah, there's nothing on there. Okay, so why is the population gripped in pulse phobia? Because I thought the purge would have eased everyone's worries, right? But... oh, I should probably use a Libra on this though.
Keep up with me, Hope.
Halved to everything, immune to everything, employs physical and magical combination attacks. Okay. Ouch. Okay, okay. Unfortunately, I can't seem to get a physical attack off on this thing. Because it just keeps interrupting lightning. And I don't think I can tank 2 of those.
We got this under control.
Okay, it saved my paradigms for the last time.
Follow my lead. Here. Keep up with me, Hope.
Ah, this thing spamming this attack is kind of annoying though.
Follow my lead.
I'm gonna try and swap fast enough for this. But what is the... It begs the question, why does the public think there's another pulse threat
Come
to
on,
take
Mike.
care of?
Time to switch it up.
Is that directed at me? I thought it was directed at Hope.
Thanks.
Because as far as they know, only Psycom should know that there was a problem with the purge, right?
Come on, Mike. Follow my lead.
Unfortunately, we didn't get it. Unremarkable.
Time to switch it up.
Anyway. We didn't get a good stagger gauge. Dual casting, let's go with that. Oh, we dodged it. Neat. And Spark Strike does seem...
Keep up with me, Hope. Follow my lead.
Okay, we should be done here. Unfortunately, its attacks come a little too quickly. And to try and get a consistent stagger off. Because I need to keep healing. I don't have enough HP to tank 2 of those attacks.
It's the city's food production fallacy. Name's Carbuncle. That's one of our enemies, being Sanctum and all.
So, kill him and cut off the food supply. That'll make us popular.
I think people have enough reason to hate us, don't you?
Yeah, you're probably right. Hungry people make for angry people.
So,
Use
folks,
that as a landmark.
a fallacy up close and
Let's head to
personal.
the fallacy at the center.
Except we're not trying to kill it this time. This is a cocoon fallacy. And I have been saying that these things are pretty important. This one basically provides food to this area of cocoon. And it might provide food to all of cocoon, I'm not 100% sure. I may need to check the data log on that. But yeah, it's pretty important to think that this thing, if Lightning and Hope were to attack it now and kill it, a lot of people suddenly wouldn't have food. So if they wanted to lean into that whole pulselessly enemies of cocoon thing, they could just go after this. But again, it's not like they're... Lightning and Hope have made it clear that it's not like they're just after the cocoon in general. They have an issue with the Sanctum. And even Hope is like, I think people have enough reason to hate us, don't you? These two just heal each other. It's interesting, Hope and Lightning haven't really done anything yet, but everyone from Cocoon supposedly hates them already. Just because they're branded as pulselessly. I just wanted to check something. Hope didn't get on in time. Yeah, I wanted to go this way. I think this is where I wanted to go. Yes, this is where I wanted to go. Okay, slight problem. Who do we go for first? Oh, I know what to do. Let's try going for the healer first. And just hope that works. We're gonna need to swap soon. Okay, so the healer can't heal itself, fortunately. Oh, what? What? Why was lightning so low?
And so it ends.
Okay, retry. Okay.
Come on, Light. Thanks. Here.
Hope's gonna die. Yeah, I was prepared for that.
Thank you.
I've got your back.
Okay, hang on a sec.
Here.
Come on, Light.
Good call. Time to switch it up.
Okay.
Keep up with me, Hope.
Okay. These two aren't enough to stagger this. This is gonna be tricky. I need to find the right rhythm to deal with this thing.
We got this under control.
Here.
Drop some heals.
Keep up with me, Hope.
Yeah, we got some physical attacks off.
Follow my lead.
I just want to get a physical attack off.
Time to switch it up. Follow my lead.
Okay. This is actually kind of intensive how much I need to actually pay attention here. Go, lightning, go! I could just die here.
Time to switch it up.
Okay, I think we can stagger it here. Yep, we should be good. Again, we're good. Only 3 stars. Just dang. Brutal fight. And what is our prize? Mobius circuits. And an aqua ring. Excuse me. I can equip another thing. So, I can increase magic by 20 as well. Let's go with that. Let's buff our stats. And this is HP. Let's go with the physical damage reduction. Okay, let's get out of here. I think Hope is still waiting out there, even though he joined me in the battle. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to assume this is going to go the right way. Okay, yeah. Right. Ah! Please tell me you're gonna turn around. No, turn around. No. Okay, wait. I think I can get it to turn around. Watch this. So if I disappear from its view completely... No, it's backing up. It's backing up. Yeah. Wait, it's turning. Yeah. Got you now. Quickly. Nope. And we got this. It can be surprising how much easier some fights get as soon as you get a preemptive strike. Some enemies can be a pain in the ass to try and stagger. Okay.
Look at us. Pulse Lassie, using a Sanctum fallacy to tell where we're going. Sort of strange.
Not really. We've relied on them our whole lives. The food we eat, the light, and water. It's all from the Fal'Cie. You know, I think Cocoon was really built for them. The rest of us, we're just leeches. Parasites.
You think? They protect us, nurture us, and take care of, well, normal people. They treat us like we're special. Almost like we're pets.
Like pets.
It seems to have really resonated with her.
To them, we are just pets. That's it. Now it makes sense. I've been so blind. I was born into a Fal'Cie world, raised on a Fal'Cie leash. It was the only life I knew how to live. When it was taken from me, I was completely lost. Without a master to follow, my life had no purpose. Hope, listen to me. This Lassie curse, it took everything from me. My future, my dreams. I didn't want to think. So I fought instead. As long as I was fighting, nothing else was real. I was running away. And you, Hope. You got swept along with me.
But Lightning, I don't understand.
I'll Operation Nora is over.
What?
I...
No! You told me to fight!
I made a mistake!
But... You can't do this. You can't just build something up like that, then abandon me.
I won't abandon you. I won't.
I can't just throw in the towel.
So that was a pretty heavy moment.
How am I supposed to just forget about all this?
Light realizing the error of her ways. I think it's a pretty impactful moment if you're paying attention to what's actually going on here.
Let's wrap this up.
It's Light saying after all the shiz went down, she didn't want to think about how screwed up everything got. Hope's gonna die, isn't he? Yeah, he died. Hang on, hang on. I don't know why I tried to complicate this fight. It's actually pretty simple. Just focus on one of them and the rest will start healing it. They'll be stun locked into healing. Anyway. Although her using okay, we're almost there. Yeah, they're just stun locked into healing each other. And then I'm leaving.
Got your back.
Thanks.
Okay. Sorry, been a bit distracted. So that moment was pretty significant because Lightning is basically admitting that, yeah, this whole plan I've been on has been incredibly reckless and kind of stupid. I just wanted something to punch because I didn't know what else to do with myself. And now it's... I think it's a pretty big moment because it's also her realizing that she ended up dragging Hope into this whole mentality of don't think about anything, just fight what's in front of you. Don't think about where you're going or what are the consequences of your actions. Which is pretty unhealthy. And I think it was pretty clever for them to do that in such a way, where Lightning realizing this whole plan of hers isn't a good idea by getting to see how she looks like from the outside, with Hope getting swept up in the same mentality of I gotta just attack what's in front of me. It's also that whole reveal of Lightning feels like Cocoon is actually made for the Foul Sea and not humans. And then Hope points out that the Foul Sea seems specifically focused on looking after humans, kind of like how people would look after pets.
So what do we do now? We're Lassie, ticking time bombs, enemies of Cocoon. If we can't follow the plan, do we just lay down and die?
I didn't mean we should give up.
Then what battles do we fight? And against who? Tell me that!
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet!
That's right. I don't know yet. But I do know we can't lose hope.
Hope? There is no hope. Not for Lassie.
There's you.
Yeah.
It's my name. Not who I am.
I was just like you. My parents died. I had to be strong for Sarah, so I thought I needed to forget my past. And I became Lightning. I thought that by changing my name, I could change who I was. I was just a kid. Lightning. It flashes bright, then fades away. It can't protect. It only destroys. Sarah tried to tell me. But I wouldn't listen.
There you are.
Lightning
If you really
hallucinating
are
now.
a Lassie, it's my job to deal with you.
Typical.
I threatened her.
Come on, Slowpoke.
Sorry. Got held up.
Where have you been?
I'm really late, huh?
The only one who believed her was Snow.
Don't say it! Don't say his name. It brings everything back. I keep playing it in my head. What happened to her? And then I see his stupid face and he's smiling. How can he smile when she's dead? I know! There's nothing I can do about it. I hate knowing that. No matter what happens, she's not coming back. When I was fighting, there was no time to think about it. It felt good just to give in. But now you start talking about hope. I'm sorry, I messed up.
It's my fault.
Little bit of background lore on lightning after that emotional moment. So the whole reason why she calls herself Lightning, remember, goes by Lightning, last name Farron, first name anyone's guess. That was Snow's words. So Lightning and Sarah's parents died a while back. And Lightning felt like she needed to grow up and look after Sarah. So she became this sort of stoic, almost emotionless type person who just focused on what needed to be done right now. And she got caught up in this whole mentality of forget whatever happened, just focus on what you're doing right now. Even if you're not really thinking about the impact of those actions. And it's interesting that she sees herself in Hope. Because she's kind of been telling Hope to do the same thing. And it's interesting that Lightning kind of grew up with this mentality. But now that she sees it playing out in front of her... did I visit everywhere on here? Wait. Hang on. Okay, I gotta go back and check. I gotta go back and check. It's gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me a lot. I think I missed one of the treasure seers. I might have missed one. I hope none of the stuff respawns. Although I think they respawn based on distance, so probably something's gonna respawn. Okay, so she grew up with this mentality of she needs to be strong for someone else and just forget whatever happened in the past and forge on ahead. And now she sees, now after telling Hope to do the same thing and seeing what's actually happening with Hope, she's like, okay, that maybe wasn't really healthy advice. And realizes that she probably needs to stop following that advice too. Hope you can wait here. You just wait there, Hope. And it's also interesting that she feels a little... She's also thinking about the whole thing with Sarah and not believing her when she told her that she was a Fal'Cie. Realizing the whole reason that Lightning felt like she needed to grow up quickly is to look after Sarah. And in that time where Sarah kind of needed her to be by her side, she flat out didn't believe her. And even threatened that if she really is a Lassie, it's Lightning's job to take her out. Which, again, I mentioned this a while ago, but she probably feels really guilty about the fact that she threatened the one person she's supposed to be protecting. And then there was Snow, who was the one guy who was there for her when she really needed it. And Hope still... hang on. Let's use this. Oh, Hope, you teleported here. You didn't need to do that. Ah, here we go. Yes. Better be something here. Ah, treasure spheres. Unguarded. Excellent. Excellent. Holy water. I barely use these items, honestly. Phoenix down. Okay, I use Phoenix down. Speaking of which, I should probably buy some, but I don't have money. There's a place coming up to get money. If you didn't notice, this game doesn't drop money after every fight. Whatever. I wonder if there's something off to the left as well. Let me check, or the right, or whatever angle you're looking at. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, I think I got everything. Okay. I just think it was really clever the way they did that with Lightning and Hope. And that Lightning gets to see what she looks like from the outside, and then it finally sinks in. Yeah, this mentality isn't healthy. I also get a bit of a reasoning as to why she just targeted the Sanctum. It wasn't specifically that she felt the Sanctum was that guilty, it's just that she needed something to fight. Someone to attack, and that's why she just decided to go after the Sanctum. The Sanctum just made the most sense to her at the time. And not even the Sanctum, the fal'Cie itself. And she might have been riding a high from the fact that she killed a fal'Cie already. And Hope is now just really upset that Snow can still laugh and smile when he's responsible for someone's death. Someone close to him, someone close to someone close to Hope. Well, it's Hope's mother. I don't know why I worded it like that. That was like a word salad that just tumbled past my lips. Oh man, this motherfucker respawned. I'm just gonna run past him. Actually, we can do the same thing as last time. Come on. Little forward. Come on. Okay. Now, turn around. Come on, turn around. Excellent. And Hope even knows that his revenge plot is kind of pointless. It's not like it's really gonna achieve anything, but, you know. He kind of... he kind of just can't tolerate the idea of... I don't know why it says unremarkable and normal. I feel like it's... Oh, it's only got 10k HP. Excuse me. Hope just feels... What was I saying? I think it was Hope just can't tolerate the idea that Snow can laugh and smile when he's responsible for Nora's death. I can dodge them. Haha! We already did that fight, we don't need to do it again. Actually, should we do it again? We may need more Crystarium points. We need a lot more Crystarium points. Actually, no, we don't. Well, yeah, we, I'm gonna leave it be for now. I'm gonna use them up though. Medic. Wait, let's grab this. And let's work towards that. Hope even admits that one of the things while following Lightning, it felt good to just give in, as in, it felt good to just pick a target and start punching it. Not have to think about all the messed up stuff that's happening in his life right now, and how everything's gone down the drain. Lightning also says that her entire future was just gone in a moment, because she got branded a pulseless sea. And it was probably the whole idea of when she lost Sarah, she didn't have anything to protect, she didn't have anything to fight for anymore, so she was just like, I'm gonna go punch the Fal'Cie. And then after that, after she punched the Fal'Cie in the face and killed it, she was like, well, what the fudge do I do now? And for a while she could just keep running and fighting. But then she needed something to actually work towards, so Eden was the first thing that popped into his mind, the Sanctum Fal'Cie that ordered the purge. I'm just saying, that's pretty much the same points I've been saying over and over again now. I feel like I'm kind of rambling at this point. Okay, I think we got everything from in here. What's that? Oh yeah, I already fought those.
Talk to your dad.
What? Why?
Fighting without hope is no way to live. It's just a way to die. I want you to find the hope you were named for. Staying alive, I can help you with, but I can't give you hope. If you go to see your father.
You think meeting my dad will make anything better? He's never listened to a word I've said. He'll never believe all this l'Cie stuff. Snow believed Sarah, didn't he?
Yeah.
Ooh, cutscene.
In a recently convened emergency conference, the Sanctum announced that the fugitive l'Cie have been located. The military plans to apprehend the l'Cie and carry out a public execution. These images coming to you live from the scene in Palampolo.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Hey, they look like us. Uh-oh.
These are l'Cie. Show no mercy. They aren't people. They're targets.
Start running.
What?
I'll keep him busy.
All of them?
You survive.
That's some crowd. Gonna need a plan.
Since when have heroes ever needed plans?
You really gotta let that line go.
Fang.
Huh?
It's him!
Stormtrooper aim.
Take us out! Yeah!
Lightning!
That was just embarrassing for the army.
Whoa!
Take care of him.
What?
Lightning, listen to me.
Get moving.
No, you don't understand. Sarah's all right. She'll turn back.
Take care of Hope.
Wait!
And then there were three.
They're here! Hold it!
Gotta go. So how you been?
One's down!
Take cover! I got this one.
So, did Lightning just forget that Hope wants to kill Snow? And also, does anyone... Okay, that's the same. Right? Let's end it off with this.
Way to go.
You can't hear, but I'm whistling. Oh, what the heck? The stagger gauge disappeared. Oh, whatever.
How about this?
I don't know why. I guess that she wants Lightning Lightning wants Hope and Snow to have a chat, but I'm not sure if that's necessarily the best idea, because last we checked, I know they kind of talked about Operation Nora being called off, but I feel like Lightning still hasn't confirmed the fact that Hope is not going to try to kill Snow.
Point for me.
Okay. Let me just use the Libra on this. Okay. No, not Sentinel. The other one. Oh my gosh, it dodged like half my attacks there. Exactly half, actually. I could just summon the Shiva Sisters again. I hardly ever use summon. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's be fun.
Shiva!
The score is going to be pretty bad though, because I took so long to summon them. I never used Odin while traveling with lightning.
Try that on me.
Yeah, that I should have just did that. That was over way quicker. Still got 5 stars. They expected me to take 13 minutes to beat that. Jeez Louise.
What's up?
Where have you been?
I got taken in.
Wait, what?
Not by enemies. It was the cavalry, not Psychon. Leader's name is Rains. He said he'd lend us l'Cie a hand. So now, your hero is back.
Why would the army help us? That doesn't make sense.
The military's got all kinds. Not all of them like the Sanctum.
Ooh, a clue?
Don't worry. I'll handle the bad guys. Come on.
Snow has access to the Sentinel role. Sentinels are defense specialists. By drawing enemy attacks and mitigating the damage via defensive abilities, they're able to protect the other members of the battle team. A Sentinel's abilities are essential when it comes to protecting battle team members with low HP like Hope. And like we intentionally made Hope's HP low for this. Draw enemy aggression away from allies and with the provoke ability while defending with steel guard to minimize damage to weak party members. Sentinels cannot use the attack command, but they can still damage enemies. Select the Vendetta ability and the Sentinel will counterattack enemies when attacked. Sentinels are at their best against numerous opponents, when they can use their defensive abilities to shield allies while dealing damage via counterattacks. They become less effective when only a few enemies remain. At that point, it is best to turn Sentinels into commandos in order to finish off remaining enemies more quickly.
Ice tracks. Is that some kind of l'Cie power?
Alright, so we heard those guys who took in Snow way back when. Still remember that? We got to check in with Snow from time to time with just cutscenes. This is the first time in a long time that we've been controlling Snow directly. Other than that cutscene when he went to go find Sarah. Look at that, 14k CP. But, he's saying that it was a different... I think what he means is there was a different division of the military that took him in, called the cavalry. Let's get the counterattack if we can find that. Yeah, I wanna... Is counterattack here? Evade, Vendetta... Oh yeah, Vendetta is here. Okay, let's go grab that. So, the Sanctum, if I recall correctly, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. They're basically the main government of Cocoon. And there's the military of Cocoon that's split up into different divisions. SciComm, which is... I don't remember what their acronym or their abbreviation stands for. But basically they're focused on dealing with threats from Pulse. Which again, there haven't been any threats from Pulse in a long time. But that's what that division of the army exists for. Excuse me. And then there's the cavalry, which we're not entirely sure what their purpose is. But they are a different division of the military, and apparently they don't like the Sanctum. So the leader of the cavalry... What is this? Instantly slay a target with low HP. I like the sound of that. And launch. Well, not all of them like the Sanctum, which is like the main government, right? So it sounds like there may be talks of a military coup. Use strength and magic when HP is high. Because these guys, instead of taking in enemies of Cocoon, these Pulse Lassie, enemies of Cocoon, remember the catchphrase, they sought to help them out, and I think that's because they want to use a Pulse Lassie's power to topple the government. That, considering how strong Pulse Lassie actually are, I guess that kind of makes sense. And so that's why Sid Reigns wanted to try and find them. I think. This is me theorizing at this point. We'll find out the truth later. Probably. So, I'm not sure why they wouldn't be happy with the Sanctum, because Cocoon looks like it's running pretty well, other than the whole Pulse thing. So I don't know if there's been unrest. I don't know why the military isn't happy with the government, a branch of the military isn't happy with the government. But the cavalry isn't the Guardian Corps. Let's go with Sentinel. The Guardian Corps is another branch. They seem more security than military, but at this point I can't really tell much of a difference. Since Lightning was called a soldier, so... I guess Guardian Corps looks after public safety, so I guess Guardian Corps might be like more police? Maybe? Anyway, Sid leads the cavalry. The cavalry isn't happy with the Sanctum, and so they're looking for Pulse Lassie and want to help them, I guess, take down the Sanctum. I guess there is a reason to be unhappy with the Sanctum. The fact that they just wanted to deport a whole bunch of people because they were near a Pulse Fal'Cie. But it wasn't even deportation, it was actually, we're just gonna kill everyone off on the way. We're not even gonna take them where we said we're gonna take them. So if you knew about that, Shiz, you'd probably want to... you probably have a vested interest in getting rid of that government that did that. Ah. Yeah, I hope we were just in control of him. We almost had a party of 3 again, but Fang ran off with Lightning. I guess it's better that everyone has a partner to work with. Just to watch each other's backs. Okay. Dinner just. Okay. So quite a bit to unpack there. Which I think is another thing. So this game kind of, I think it's basically because of this thing, the data log. Let's look at the data log real quick, because there's a bunch of stuff in here. We're not going to read this stuff, because that's a lot of reading. But if you've been reading this along the way, you probably understand most of the stuff that's been going on. I think that's part of the problem with this game, is they expect you to read all of this. Day one. Noah was overjoyed to meet the older sister of his beloved Sarah, but Lightning was far from impressed. She had never approved of her or his group's unsanctioned activities. As far as Lightning was concerned, Nora's actions hunting down weak monsters and acting like heroes were reckless and irresponsible. She wanted Snow to forget about dating her sister, but the young man just laughed away at demands. His flippant attitude did nothing but reinforce her original impression. Okay, so yeah, you can read stuff here and get a bunch more context. That's another thing I don't even remember this part. Nora is more focused on fighting monsters. I guess they're monsters. Oh, the War of Transgression. This might be important. Several hundred years ago, the armies of Pulse attempted to invade Cocoon in a conflict known today as the War of Transgression. The Sanctums XIII were able to repel the lower world's forces before they breached Cocoon's interior, but not before they managed to seriously damage areas lying near the world's outer rim. Details surrounding the clash remain shrouded in mystery, but the government's swift and decisive response to this violent Pulse-seeing transgression minimized casualties and greatly boosted faith in both the Sanctum and the Fal'Cie. That was several hundred years ago. The government did one good thing several hundred years ago, and everyone's been happy with them ever since. I mean, it was a pretty big good thing. I mean, because they were being invaded by a hostile force. But the Sanctum has managed to hold on to power ever since then, which is kind of nuts to think about. And you could probably draw some parallels with our real world with that one. The government did one good thing a while back, and now everyone trusts them wholeheartedly. Well, maybe not everyone trusts them wholeheartedly. It seems like some people are pretty unhappy with them, but they've managed to remain in power because of that one good thing they did so long ago. So, again, there's some real world parallels to be drawn there. But let's not get political. At least not real world political. But yeah, the data log has so much info here that you could probably go over to understand what's going on and get a background on all these characters and the activities and what's basically motivating them, which is a bit of an interesting story. I want to see if I'll have to look into it myself, because I promise. I didn't promise, but I did say you wouldn't have to look at the data log. The story just kind of yada yadas over a bunch of stuff and expects you to read the data log, right? Did I sneak up on these guys? What the heck? I didn't mess with the paradigms!
Bring it on!
Uh-oh.
How about this?
So I think that's why a lot of people actually don't really fully, not even like, I won't even say like appreciate, they don't even, I think a lot of people don't actually understand what the fuck's going on, what the fudge is going on, right? Which is completely fair, because I think the first few times I played this, I didn't actually get what was going on. Because again, the game is like, it tells you about the data log at the very beginning, and it expects you to be checking that thing every time it's updated for information. And if you aren't checking that thing every time, a lot of stuff, they just yada yada and expect that you got all the important details from the data log, right? For example, why the heck does the public know about the l'Cie, about the l'Cie threats that's basically these l'Cie running around? Because last time, if you recall, last time we checked in with the Sanctum, they made an announcement that the purge was successful and everyone was sent to Pulse without issue. Which obviously was a complete lie, but that's what they told the public. So it begs the question, why the heck does the public now think that there's a huge Pulse threat going on? Maybe the government told them that there's actually a few more l'Cie who weren't part of the purge. And I guess it kind of makes sense, because
I have to get stuck with him.
they need to explain some things though. So, the Uriday Gorge. The Uriday Gorge is one of the events that kicked off everything, right? I just thought of the fact that it kind of sounds like lightning only met snow 10 days before Sarah got engaged to him. Anyway, the fact that there were l'Cie in the Pulse l'Cie in the Uriday Gorge, that was actually kept under wraps, right? Because we saw Lightning talk to her lieutenant, and she says the thing that happened at the Uriday Gorge, and then it's like, was it more incidents than accidents? Because they clearly told the public and even other branches of military, hey, we just had a slight accident at the power plant, no need to worry. And then that's pretty much what everyone knew.
It's all about teamwork.
But the truth was that a Pulse l'Cie had managed to get to the to the power plants, to the Fal'Cie, and the Fal'Cie ended up turning Dodge into a l'Cie to protect itself, right? That was what actually happened, but that's not what they told the public. So as far as the public was concerned, there were no l'Cie involved in that incident at all. So unless the government came clean and was like, actually, there were actually.
Time to switch, kiddo.
Oh fudge. So unless they told the public that there was actually l'Cie that showed up at the gorge. Sorry, my brain is lagging. Hang on, my brain will catch up any second now. I really should have messed with the paradigms more. Anyway, unless the government told the public that, yeah, there were actually Pulse l'Cie and this is the incident that happened and that's why we're looking for Pulse l'Cie, which I doubt they did because, you know, they want to make it sound like they have everything under control, right? This is Vendetta? That fucking sucks! Like I said, it's been a while since I've played this game. Does he only counterattack at the very end? I guess he counterattacks proportional to the amount of damage he's supposed to have taken? No, this just sucks. Oh my gosh. Oh. That one guy's not getting provoked. He's so focused on beating up Hope. Okay, there we go. So, as far as the public knows, there are no Pulse l'Cie on Cocoon. Like, that never should have been an announcement. Or if it was an announcement, we didn't see it. Now, to be fair, we have been following our crew, but it is an interesting thing that they just seem to have yada yada'd over. Right?
Thanks, partner. How about this?
The crew didn't exactly get much options to check the news, other than the time that Gallant Daisley came on and told everyone, yeah, the purge was successful, everything's good now. But in that announcement, which was a few days ago now? How many days has it been? Like maybe 3 or 4 days now? Apparently they told the public, actually there are some l'Cie on the loose and we need to capture them. Which again, it does make sense that a word got out somehow. I mean, I actually don't know. If you're married to someone in the military and they perform, or not married, sorry, but if you are close to someone in the military and they perform a covert operation, are you allowed to talk? I guess they wouldn't tell you about that covert operation, right? But if they don't come back from that covert operation, are you allowed to ask questions about what the fudge happened? Because I guess it would be considered confidential information what the purge actually was and how it worked. I'm just using Steel Guard. Why isn't he using Vendetta? Whatever.
It's all about teamwork. How about this?
Oh, because I'm pretty sure there are some PsyCom soldiers who straight up died in the fights against, even just against Nora. Nora being no obligations, responsibility, or authority. Snow's group, not Nora Hope's mom. Although Nora Hope's mom did fight alongside Nora. No obligations, or rules, or responsibility. Or no obligations, rules, or authority. I forget how you get what I mean. Let's move on. Anyway, so some of the PsyCom probably did die during that stuff.
Time to switch, kiddo.
And word should have gotten out that to the loved ones of those people, I guess they should have been asking questions about what happened with this whole transfer that was supposed to be just deporting people to Pulse. How the heck did someone die just dropping people off somewhere else? I guess they could have said some Pulse forces attacked us on the way back or some shit like that. But then you gotta ask the questions, why wasn't that mentioned in the news? The news just said it was a successful deportation. I'm sure some people asked why their loved ones who worked in SciComm just didn't come back home after this operation that was supposed to be easy and safe. And now, obviously, that's confidential information. We gotta work on this, Shiz. Hang on. Paradigms. Sentinel. Okay, I want a double Ravager roll. And yeah. And then I want Sentinel and Ravager. Ravager? Ravager. Ravager. And I think that'll be good. This is pretty good for buffing us up while Shiz goes down, and this is pretty good if I need to quickly heal. Shiz hits the fan. Yeah, this is useful, and yeah. Okay, cool. So I guess those people have been like, what happened to my family member? They worked in SciComm. They said they were supposed to be doing the purge, and then suddenly, I don't know if you even get told if your loved one, I say loved one, it's like family, friend, relative, whatever, was supposed to be taking part in this thing, and then all of a sudden, I don't know if you're part of the military, you even get told, or your loved ones will even know what operations you're taking part in. Like, you might just be told that, yeah, I work in the military, whatever, and I'll be away for the next couple of days or whatever. I have no idea how that shit works.
Follow my lead. I can take it. Anytime.
But if there were a bunch of people who were asking questions like that, then I guess the government might have been forced to reveal. Actually, some Lassie showed up, and we were keeping that under wraps to not cause public panic, but I guess we'll make an announcement since those Lassie have slipped through the nets or some shit. Nope, not what I wanted to do.
It's all about teamwork. Try that on me. Thanks, partner.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's go with slash and burn. I know.
How about this?
But yeah, I thought another interesting detail that they kind of just yada over, which I think makes for an interesting little subplot, is that there's a branch of the military that isn't happy with the government and is actually working against the interests of the government. It's like, oh shit, is there an entire coup going on in the background of this whole thing? Okay, we should see smites pretty soon. Is it a technique? No. Hope Snow has a lot of HP. How low HP do they have to be?
No problem.
Because I thought I got that whole thing of it automatically kills low HP enemies. I wonder how that also happens. I guess probably in a similar way to it happens in real life, where the military just decide, you know what, we don't like the government, so let's take things into our own hands.
Wrapped up and ready. Later.
I mean, we do have all the guns. Or we do have a lot of guns, so we can probably take control from the government. I guess that's what happened with XIII. Yeah. It's just... I just can't stop thinking about it. I also don't think I ever really grasped that up until now, where it's like, yeah, there might be an entire coup going on in the background. Although, again, that whole deportation thing, actually mass execution, I can see why someone would be very unhappy with a government that does that. That whole, we're gonna tell people that we're shipping people out, we're shipping them out to another place. Meanwhile, we're actually just killing them. I did mess with the paradigms. It should be fine. Okay. Hope you take them out. I'm gonna provoke them. No, not this way. Stop shooting Hope. We should stop. I wonder if there's a way to stop guarding at this specific guy.
It's all about teamwork.
I need to check. Oh yeah, there is. Okay. Because we need Hope to be taking out these guys actually. They're much easier to kill. I say that, but this is still taking a while. Oh. Hope got caught in the collateral with that one. Okay, let's quickly heal up. This is taking way too fucking long. Okay. Thankfully these guys do very little damage. Okay.
I can take it. How about this?
Ouch. I hope can survive another one of those. I think. I hope. I have Phoenix down. It's fine.
How about this?
Also, maybe it's that they thought they had Hope and Lightning, like they had already captured them. You know, it's funny to think about is that we alerted them to our presence. Remember the section, Paladin. Remember the section just before we went underground and we saw the big fal'Cie that produces food? Just before that, we had to sneak past some military guys. It would be funny to think that we alerted them to the presence of fal'Cie. Like, if you managed to successfully sneak past them, then this whole part of the story wouldn't happen. Because no one knew that the fal'Cie were here. But then it's because we fought them that they regained consciousness and then they alerted everyone, hey.
Time to prove who the heroes are.
And then they were like, hey, there's actually fal'Cie in the... sorry, not fal'Cie, Pulse l'Cie in the area. But it was already XIII, and XIII already knew that there were Pulse l'Cie. I think XIII was already aware, so that wouldn't have been the case. It could just be that they were tracking us, and once they thought they had us, they decided to make the announcement that, don't worry everyone, we're gonna catch these Pulse l'Cie. Or like more like, hey guys, so we've been lying, they actually are Pulse l'Cie, but don't worry, we're gonna catch them. We're about to catch them now. And then Snow came in and just made them look pretty bad. But they kept saying how the whole of Cocoon was gripped in Pulse Terror. So it leads me to believe that word had already gotten out before then. It is possible as well that maybe some form of word got out with... But that would imply that people survived. I was thinking that maybe some the people who are being purged managed to get out and tell everyone. But for starters, you know, there's that whole thing of maybe they would end up getting purged all over again if they confessed that they escaped the purge. Excuse me. They might, and I don't think anyone wants to risk that, so they'll probably keep their heads down. And then, those people, I don't know why they would be saying that there's Pulse l'Cie. Maybe those people released word of what actually happened. But they would have also released word about the purge. Although I'm not sure if they actually knew that the government was executing them. Because that could have just been that they saw fighting. Oh.
Time to switch, kiddo.
Again, maybe I need to go back and check the data log. When in doubt, check the data log. If you're in doubt about the lore of this, about what's happening, just go check the data log. Your answers are probably there. If you ever plan to play this game yourself. And if it's not in the data log, you either don't need to know it or it's a spoiler. Or maybe the writers forgot about that part. That's also possible.
Hope, follow my lead.
I wonder, is it absorbing the magic attacks?
How about this?
Is he absorbing the magic attacks he's receiving? Okay, I think we're almost done here. I gotta say, one dude showing up apparently on camera, or two people actually, Fang was there too, and then just messing up this whole moment of, we got them! And then they just run free from like hordes of soldiers. That's gotta be embarrassing. Okay, I think there's a cutscene coming up, and it's actually kind of important, and we've been going for a little while, so I think I shall call it there. So we'll save again because I'm paranoid. And then, yeah, I think we'll call it there. I think I'll be back tomorrow, probably. And if I'm not back tomorrow, I'll probably be back on Monday. I do try to stream every day during the week. Yeah, I think the story actually has quite a bit to talk about, if you actually know what's going on. And it has quite a few good parts to it too. But, yeah. Anyway, thanks to everyone and anyone who came to watch. And I guess I'll call it there for today. Keep it smooth. Cheers.